The oldest civilization in the world, which has enlightened the planet, is getting back on the track to reclaim its lost glory. The geopolitical significance of India is witnessing new horizons with each passing day. Nevertheless, our growth story has been for ages witnessed serious challenges because of the notoriety of our neighbours. Both China and Pakistan are like jealous mistresses who are always in search of an opportunity to sneak past the Indian borders. Consequently, Indian troops are expected to be vigilant and always be on their toes to neutralize any evil step of the enemy. Namaste and welcome to TFIPost. I am your host Sabita Mishra. If you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. If you are watching us on Facebook, do like, share and follow the page. Let's begin with the video report. The recent clash between the Indian and Chinese troops in the Tawang region has depicted the growing might of India in terms of defense preparedness. The Indian troops outsmarted the Chinese on all fronts. The reinforcement mechanism of the troops and the military preparedness on the part of the Air Force in the region was spectacular and sent shivers through the Chinese government. Furthermore, according to sources, the Indian Navy has failed the attempt made by Chinese spy ships to contain the launch of Indian ballistic missile test of Agni V. Consequently, it can be said that Indian forces broke the myth of Chinese hegemony and military supremacy over India and gave a befitting reply to the dragon. In the midst of rising tensions with China over clashes along the de facto border in Arunachal Pradesh, last week India successfully completed night tests of Agni V nuclear-capable ballistic missile. The test has demonstrated that the missile can now reach targets beyond 5,400 km. The nuclear-capable ballistic missile was launched off the coast of Odisha on Abdul Kalam Island. The purported test was the ninth flight of the Agni V missile system, which was initially tested in 2012. On December 14, China's spy ship came out of the Indian Ocean region, and the very next day, India successfully tested Agni V, that too in the dark. Agni V took off from the APJ Abdul Kalam Center in Odisha around 5:30 p.m. At that time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was attending a function celebrating India's victory over Pakistan in the 1971 war. The Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) conducted the test firing of the Agni V nuclear missile. The missile test was conducted ahead of schedule despite the recent hostilities between India and China at the Tawang border in Arunachal Pradesh. The skirmish took place after China attempted to unilaterally change the status quo on the de facto boundary known as LAC last week with the invasion in the Arunachal region. The clashes left troops on both sides hurt. However, the Chinese had been effectively repelled. The attempted incursion by the Chinese at the LAC region came a month after the joint military drills between India and the US in the Uttarakhand. The scuffle at LAC is believed to be the deadliest to have occurred on the disputed border since the last brawl in Ladakh's Galwan Valley in 2020. The region has become active after 1962, which saw a full-scale battle between China and India over Arunachal Pradesh, which Beijing claims in its entirety and sees as a piece of South Tibet. The current regime in power under the leadership of PM Modi is well aware of the fact that a strong economic and geopolitical power needs to have robust and advanced defense capabilities. With growing hostility of our neighbors and the increased occurrence of informal warfare and border incursions, the nation's logistical and defense infrastructure is expected to meet international standards.